On a quiet summer afternoon in 1984, an entire American city looked up and collectively froze. The sky, without any warning, had turned green. I don't mean a slight tint or a filter-like hue. This was a deep, unsettling emerald glow that made the familiar afternoon daylight look sick and unnatural. Panic set in almost instantly. Parents rushed outside, pulling their kids indoors. Drivers, stunned, stopped their cars right in the middle of the road. Police station phone lines were flooded with calls from terrified residents. Was it a chemical spill? Some kind of secret military test? Or was this it? The end of the world? The truth behind the green sky remains one of the rarest, most baffling atmospheric mysteries ever recorded. And this is the real story. It all started around 3 p.m. Meteorologists at a local station were the first to notice something was wrong. Their radar screens showed bizarre distortions, huge vertical anomalies that didn't match any known storm patterns. Then the cause began. A retired pilot's voice came over the phone, shaky and filled with disbelief. "I've flown for 40 years, he said, and I've never, ever seen the sky do this." Just minutes later, cameras all across the city captured the impossible. A green dome spreading across the clouds like slow-moving ink in water. Residents who witnessed it struggled to find the words. Lee described it as unnatural, radioactive, and like something was glowing from behind the sky itself. But here's the strangest part. There was no storm, no rain, no lightning, no thunder. Oppressive silence that seemed to press down on the entire city. By 3:20 p.m., the quiet afternoon had descended into chaos. Schools began evacuating children, trying to get them home safely under the bizarre green light. Streetlights, confused by the sudden darkness, automatically flickered on. Shadows vanished, leaving the world evenly and uncannily lit by the alien glow. People reported that the air itself felt different, heavier, as if the pressure had suddenly increased. And it wasn't just the people. Animals were terrified. Pet owners said their dogs refused to go outside, whining and hiding under beds and furniture. One eyewitness later recounted, "Felt like someone had put a giant piece of tinted glass over the entire world." But the most mind-bending discovery wasn't even happening on the ground. It was happening tens of thousands of feet above. Commercial pilots flying at high altitude were radioing air traffic control in confusion. They reported that the green layer wasn't just in the clouds, it was in the atmosphere itself, as if the very air had changed color. Air traffic controllers had no explanation. The usual suspects just didn't fit. Scientists, both at the time and for years after, scrambled to find answers, but every theory hit a dead end. Their first idea was a tornadic supercell. It's true that some massive thunderstorms can give the sky a greenish tint due to light scattering through the massive amounts of water they hold, but the radar was clear. There was no rotation, no storm structure, nothing to suggest a supercell was forming or present. The weather was calm, so that theory was out. Theory number 2 was ice crystals refracting sunlight. Under very specific conditions, high-altitude ice crystals can bend sunlight, creating strange optical phenomena like sundogs or halos. A green sky could theoretically be possible. But there was a major problem: the temperature. It was a warm summer afternoon, far too warm for the type of ice crystals needed for such an effect to form at the necessary altitude. Another dead end. What about a solar radiation event? Maybe a burst of energy from the sun was interacting with the Earth's upper atmosphere, causing it to glow, similar to an aurora. It's a compelling idea, but when scientists checked the data, they found nothing. Satellites that monitor solar activity showed no abnormal flares, no coronal mass ejections, no unusual solar wind, but the sun was behaving perfectly normally. This theory was also debunked. This led to the most plausible, yet still unsatisfying explanation: the atmospheric lens effect. This theory suggests that a rare, and I mean incredibly rare, combination of airborne particles, pollutants, and moisture just happened to align perfectly. This alignment would have created a massive, temporary atmospheric lens that filtered the sunlight, allowing only the green part of the spectrum to pass through. It's the perfect storm of atmospheric conditions. But even the proponents of this theory admit that the sheer intensity and uniformity of the green color reported by witnesses goes far beyond any known example of this phenomenon. It was too vibrant, too complete. And then, at 3:42 p.m., just as the mystery was deepening, something else happened. Atmospheric sensors scattered across the region recorded a brief, powerful electromagnetic spike. It lasted for exactly 11 seconds, and it had no identifiable source. It didn't come from the ground, it wasn't from power lines, and it didn't come from the sky in the way lightning does. It was as if the atmosphere itself had just pulsed. And right after that 11-second pulse, the green sky began to fade. Not suddenly, but slowly, dissolving back into a normal overcast gray. By 4:15 p.m., it was completely gone. The sky was back to normal, leaving behind a city of bewildered people and a puzzle with no solution. In the end, scientists officially concluded nothing. There was no chemical leak, no storm, no solar event, no atmospheric anomaly that anyone could recreate or definitively prove. The official report was a collection of possibilities, none of which truly fit the facts. The event was filed away as an unexplained anomaly, a 1 in a billion fluke of nature. But the story doesn't end there, because 14 years later, it happened again. This time, in another country, halfway across the world. Witnesses there described the same unnatural, deep green sky appearing on a calm afternoon, the same time of day. And when scientists investigated that event, they found the exact same signature, a mysterious, sourceless electromagnetic spike that lasted for precisely 11 seconds. Coincidence or a pattern? To this day, no one can fully explain what happened in that American city in 1984, or what happened again 14 years later. The sky shifted color in a way our known physics says it shouldn't. Sensors picked up an energy pulse that came from nowhere, and the same bizarre event repeated itself with uncanny precision. Maybe it was a form of atmospheric physics we just don't understand yet. Maybe it was a natural phenomenon so incredibly rare that we've only managed to catalog it twice. Maybe it wasn't natural at all. Sky doesn't just change color for no reason. Something made it turn green. Something powerful. Something that is still, to this day, completely unknown. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed diving into these kinds of mysteries, be sure to subscribe for more.